Hey there, it's Melissa Ramos, nutritionist from Sexy Food Therapy. And I want you to ask me anything.
So your poops are this big. Here we go.
Why do I talk about poop so much?
The reason why that I love talking about poop, it's such a taboo subject. I wanted to be able to, again, inject some laughter into the whole digestive subject so that people weren't scared to talk about it. The more that we can openly speak about it, the more that we can be able to figure out what's causing us to be constipated, bloated, etc., and you start to feel a lot better as a result.
Everyone wants to know if I'm single.
Ask me anything.
Ask me anything.
Ask me.
Ask me.
You can ask me anything.
How do you get your poop to sink and go 3 times a day?
Hey guys, if you struggle with any type of bowel irregularity, whether it's pellet poops, the most disappointing poop ever, let's face it, or constipation, you are going to love my chia seed pudding. Now this is kind of like tapioca, and it's amazing whether you want it for a snack midday, if you want it for dessert, or heck, if you want breakfast to feel like dessert. This is how it looks, and it looks amazing, and it tastes just as good. So we're starting off with a non-dairy alternative. In this case, I'm using almond milk. Feel free to use coconut milk as well. And then the next ingredient, and there's really just a total of 4 ingredients, which is super easy, is chia seeds. We're adding in a 1/4 cup of chia seeds to the mixture. So we're gonna dump all that goodness in there. Chia seeds are amazing because they're super full of fiber, your omegas, protein as well, really nutritive, and it helps to actually promote bowel regularity with a lot of people. So this is going to be excellent for you. Stevia is the next thing that we're adding. Again, if you don't like stevia, don't worry about it. You can add in honey, maple syrup, or coconut sugar, which has a very low glycemic index point. So I'm going to be adding in roughly about 6 drops of stevia. Now, this is the part that people always miss, sea salt. Why am I adding sea salt to something that's sweet? Well, salt actually brings out the sweetness of dishes. So I'm adding in several little pinches of it in there. Not to mention, it's really rich in minerals, so don't fear salt if you're having a whole food diet. Next thing we're gonna do here, we're just literally going to mix this up as best as you can, okay? Scraping down the sides. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna cover this bad boy, put it in your fridge, and for probably the first hour or so, you're gonna wanna just lightly mix it again. Do this in the evening, and then in the morning, you will end up having this. I've topped it with blueberries and with some slivered almonds as well. So there you have it, my chia seed pudding. This is the finished product. I swear you're gonna love this, and you're gonna end up having healthy, good poops. So enjoy.
Okay, I call granola fart in a box for a reason. What should I have instead of granola? Okay, I call granola fart in a box for a reason. And the reason why is because granola is filled with oats and sugar, and everyone thinks it's so healthy for you, but a lot of people it causes you to bloat. So what can you use as an alternative? There are a lot of recipes online right now where you can use a nut-based granola, so that's an option. I actually have a nut-based recipe for granola on my website. So what do I use for hair care and makeup?
Okay, so one of the things that I truly believe when it comes to hair and makeup is cacao powder. I mean, we all love chocolate. I think that I actually keep a cacao business in business, really, because I buy so much of it. But this, you will be surprised at how much you can get out of this. So one of the things I do on a daily basis, believe it or not, is use this bad boy as a bronzer.
Okay.
Weird, right?
Interesting.
But it's amazing and it smells great. So I'm just gonna apply it here. So what cacao powder is it's actually raw chocolate, but don't get confused with cocoa powder. Cocoa powder has been heated and sugar has been added to it. So it's really not the true form of chocolate this is. So this is really what you should be using on your skin because you're getting as natural as possible. But as you see here, you have noticeably a nice bronzing little area on your skin, which is gonna, give you that sun-kissed look.
Yeah.
The other way to use cacao powder, and this is actually one of my favorites. I actually travel with this in a small little jar when I go somewhere, because when you have long hair, you want to make sure that you're not washing it every single day.
Right.
Dry shampoo.
Oh, okay.
Dry shampoo. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this to your roots, okay? But you just want to make sure that you blend it in as much as possible. Sorry, I'm getting some flyaways here. I don't want to be like a mother and lick my hand. So anyways, we're just going to do that. And it's amazing for that. So a lot of people, if you were sitting here and you're like, but I'm blonde, what do I do? Organic cornstarch. So if you're a redhead, here's an excellent way to use cinnamon as a dry shampoo. So forget cacao, we're gonna use cinnamon for you. So thank you for volunteering. All right, so I'm gonna put this on your roots.
I love that these are all baking ingredients.
Yeah, right? And it smells good. So I'm gonna apply this to your roots. It's gonna look a little bit light at first, but we're gonna blend it through, so don't sweat it, okay?
Right.
So, it actually kind of looks like I'm like dyeing your roots to like, this is kind of cool. This is great. But this literally will be a savior for those days where either A, you're like, I don't want to wash my hair because I don't want to dry it, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing option. The other thing, you can actually use cinnamon as well. So do you mind if I use it on your face?
And that's not going to be too, because I'm super pale. Like, I don't want to look like a clown.
No, you won't look like a clown. I absolutely promise.
All right, all
okay?
right.
I'm going to use a little bit here. So,
Let
actually,
me get my hair away.
and I'm like,
Okay.
reveal
Yeah.
the beautiful face here. So I'm just going to put it right there. Just there. So I'm going to blend it in a little bit because it's going to be a little bit strong at first. Do that
I
side
usually
as
stay
well.
so far away from bronzers because they scare me.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't fear the bronzer. You just literally have to blend it in enough and just be really careful. Otherwise, it's going to look like you're not sun-kissed, but that you made out with the sun, which is not the look that you want to go for, right?
No.
So there we go. And I think it looks great. You look sun-kissed.
Ooh, it does smell good.
This is literally the one product in my home that I probably use the most, other than cacao powder, because I love chocolate so much.
Really?
But it's fantastic. So I'm going to give you several uses that you can actually incorporate into your beauty regime that I think you'll really, really love. The
Okay.
first thing, I got a toothbrush here with some coconut oil. So have you ever tried coconut oil pulling at all?
Coconut pulling?
Yeah, you're like, what is that? Okay, so
No.
what generally you would do is you would put about a teaspoon of coconut oil directly in your mouth and swoosh it. That's what people are doing right now, but a lot of people won't do it because it's a textural thing that they don't
Right.
like. If you don't like that, you can always, on your toothpaste, just dunk in your toothbrush. Okay, so we'll pretend I have toothpaste on this, and then you would brush.
Brush it.
So coconut oil is amazing because it's an antibacterial, it's an antiviral, it's an antifungal as well. It's just really great for your mouth, for your gums, to whiten up your teeth, to strengthen up your teeth. So it's very, very, very good orally. The tip that I want to be able to flag to you, whatever you do, don't spit out the coconut oil down the drain.
Right.
Because you can clog it. Because coconut oil hardens if it's not heated or even mildly warm. So be really, really careful with that. The other use that I absolutely love is it is one amazing makeup remover. Okay, so do you mind if I just use your face for a second?
Yeah, you can use my eyes if you want. I've got it.
Yeah?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I'm gonna put it right there. Just close your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's.
Because that's the stuff that's really hard to get off is the mascara.
You're gonna be walking around probably with like one eye with no eyeshadow.
But I've learned something.
You totally learned something. Look at that.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I mean, it takes off so much, and that's just your eyeshadow.
So if I did your mascara, like literally it would wipe it off super clean. And it's natural for you. So you don't need all those chemicals, especially if you have sensitive eyes. So this is what I use in my beauty regime. The other thing, shaving with coconut oil. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. So forget the bar soap and the hot water. Use this for shaving. It's really, really great because you'll have really smooth legs and your boyfriend will thank me for it because he'll be like, oh. You're like, yes. And lastly is, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this on your hands, okay?
Oh,
And you can just sort of rub it on there.
Oh, it smells so good.
I know, it's an amazing moisturizer as well. A lot of people sort of fear coconut oil because it's an oil, but I even use that on my face, which some people are scared of because they think of breakouts. Not even at all, because it is an antibacterial, so it's great as a moisturizer as well. So those are a whole bunch of uses for coconut oil.
That's amazing. It's really smooth. I like that.
Good. What's a good, easy breakfast to give you energy and keep me staying full?
I'm glad you asked.
Hey there, it's Melissa Ramos, nutritionist from Sexy Food Therapy, and I want you to ask me anything.
What's a good, easy breakfast to give you energy and keep me staying full?
I'm glad you asked.
So a great breakfast to give you energy and to help you stay full for a good hour or two is what I call this energizing hot chocolate latte kind of smoothie mixture. It's interesting because people have smoothies in the morning, but this is actually a really great hot alternative, especially if you love lattes, and you can do it yourself and save a ton of money. So what I have here is hot unsweetened almond milk. Now you can use cashew milk as well, but it's a great dairy-free alternative if you've got allergies. And then the next thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in some matcha green tea powder. This is caffeinated, but the wonderful thing about it is that it's a sustained release. So it doesn't give you that crazy crash or that crazy skyrocketing and then a crash that coffee does where you end up feeling kind of grouchy afterwards. So right there, we've got a good teaspoon or so. You can do half teaspoon to a teaspoon. The next thing I have here is actually cacao powder and maca. They're both very energizing as well. Now, cacao powder is raw chocolate, so no sugar's been added, it hasn't been heated, and it's got a little bit of a caffeine boost as well. The next ingredient that we have, and I absolutely love, is hemp seeds. If you're not using hemp seeds, you're totally missing out. This is full of protein and fiber and also your good fat, so those omega fats. Now usually it wouldn't really stand up to hot almond milk, but it has so much vitamin E in it, it actually protects it. So we're putting in 3 tablespoons of that in there. The next thing we're gonna add in is cinnamon. Cinnamon actually helps to control your blood sugar. So roughly about half a teaspoon or more. This isn't science, so you can add more or less of any of this. The next thing I'm gonna have is stevia. Now stevia is from a plant that actually grows in South America again. My family's from there, so I'm like, propping it up here. But stevia is amazing. It has no calories whatsoever. It's great if you're trying to avoid sugar, but if you don't like the taste of stevia, no sweat. You could always add in coconut sugar instead. So I'm gonna roughly add in probably about 6 good drops in there. Stevia is quite sweet, so you don't need to use too much of it. The next thing, totally optional, I add in 3 good dashes of cayenne because I like it spicy. Now the last thing, coconut oil. Coconut oil is used for literally almost everything, at least in my household. Now this is wonderful because it's gonna make this drink frothy and creamy, and it also provides those good fats for you as well. Now if you're worried about fat, don't. Fat is actually good for you. It doesn't make you fat. And the wonderful thing about coconut oil is it's not really stored as fat in your body as other fats. It's a medium chain triglycerides. So there you have it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add it into our blender. Okay. Throw it on over here and wake up your neighbors. All right, and there you have it. And then you just pour this into your mug, which literally, it will be, because of those hemp seeds and that coconut oil, it'll literally be the creamiest thing ever. And this is how I start my morning every morning. And I guarantee you, if you're trying to get off coffee and you want a good energetic boost, here you have it. Enjoy. Oh my God, that's so good.
What is one thing that you attribute to turning your health around? I think that people are going to be surprised with this answer because it actually probably wasn't food, and it wasn't exactly supplements, and it wasn't exercise. What foods should I eat for softer skin? Fats, fats, and more fats. I love fats. Fat is fat. I'm so not cool saying that at all. Foods for softer skin, I would say fats. So good fats, avocados, coconut oil, butter, so long as it's organic.
So how do you battle bloating? It's a big problem for a lot of people. Well, I got a great thing just for you. So what happens when it comes to bloating is we don't have enough stomach fire, which in other words means our stomach acid, or also known as hydrochloric acid. This, what I call my ginger chews recipe, is gonna help to reignite that. Because when you don't have enough stomach acid, we tend to bloat within half an hour after eating. So what we're starting off here is about half a cup of lemon juice. It's roughly about 4 lemons squeezed, depending on the size of the lemons. You're gonna add this into a mason jar or something even smaller. And then from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be adding in some slices of ginger. Now you can see here, the sizes of these ginger, it's kind of thin, right? You don't really need it to be super thick. And all you're gonna do is throw that in here. Now, ginger is amazing for digestion. We always hear about ginger for digestion, but it's really great because it's super warming. And now if you add in something like cold water, like ice cold water at a restaurant, that actually helps to kill your digestive fire. So it's doing the opposite of what you want, and that's gonna make you bloat. And the thing is, after the age of 30, did you know that your stomach acid ends up declining with age? So if you're over the age of 30, or even if you're under and you battle with bloating, then this is a fantastic recipe. The last thing you wanna add in is some sea salt into this mixture. Swirl that around a little bit. Put on a little seal over top of that, stick it in the fridge, leave it overnight, and 5 to 10 minutes before you eat, chew on a ginger chew, and that's it. Battle the bloating, solved.
My farts stink, but I'm dairy and gluten-free. They really stink after eating broccoli. Okay, so a couple of things. When you eat broccoli, broccoli can obviously create gas because there are sulfur compounds to it, as are sulfur compounds in cabbage as well. If you're eating broccoli raw, it could be even worse. If your farts are still super stinky and you've gone dairy-free and gluten-free, I would go and start measuring other food, like common food intolerances like corn. I would investigate eggs. I would investigate peanuts. And then I would ask you, if all those fail, I would ask you one question, which is, what do you love the most? Because in my opinion, what you love the most generally has the capacity to hurt you the most. And that goes with just about anything in life. What is the cause of dandruff and how do I get rid of it? You rock, Melissa, woo! Okay, so how do you get rid of dandruff? There are several reasons why you get dandruff first and foremost. One reason could be there could be candida overgrowth in the system. And when we talk about that, we think it's generally in the gut, but it could be systemic. So sometimes even when people get like toenail fungus, that could be from systemic candida. And it could also apply for the scalp. It could apply to athlete's foot as well. So in that case, I would just be careful in terms of what you're eating. Is it too much sugar? Is it too much carbs? But the other and most common cause of dandruff is what products are you putting on your head? I would say investigate the shampoos, maybe switch to something more natural that would be less drying to the system. And also a really good tip is get unpasteurized apple cider vinegar and do a 1-to-1 with water rinse, and the dandruff, be gone, and you rock too. Can you suggest a natural skincare routine for acne-prone skin? Yeah, I would. I probably would say stop thinking topically so much. Although a lot of people, if you're doing really harsh chemicals on your skin that are drying your skin, then it's gonna make your skin worse. I know because I had very acne-prone skin. My entire face was covered with acne except for my eyes. Like I would run my hand on my forehead and it would be like little teeny moguls. Like it was really bad. So now what I've learned is because your skin's your largest organ and a reflection from the insides, digestion is so important. So I would say really investigate any food intolerances, food allergies would be a big one. Take out mucus forming foods, specifically dairy and gluten would be big ones.
Right now, I want to be able to speak to you about something that you can do topically, and that's with castor oil, believe it or not. So really what happens here is that castor oil is a circulatory aid, so it really will help pimples, especially those inside out ones that are like those buggers that you're trying to squeeze and it's not coming out. If you apply some castor oil, which you don't have an inside out one here, but I'm gonna apply just a little bit of castor oil directly on the area. The next thing that you can do is you can end up applying a damp, hot little sponge or even a face cloth, and then you would apply it over top. This is best to do after the shower because the more heat that you have on the area, the more chances it'll actually surface. Now, just a note on this. Castor oil can be very drying. So if it is really drying and you're finding that it's not really reacting with your skin properly, you can always mix it with a little bit of almond oil or jojoba oil. So that's a really great way to use castor oil for pimples. What first started it all out was that I got sick and I had a lot of digestive issues. In fact, my skin was covered in acne, except for my eyes. And I just had joint pain, and this is in my mid-20s when I felt like I was 90 years old. I'm like, people aren't supposed to feel this way. So I really began to search for answers, and that's kind of how it all started.
What is one thing that you attribute to turning your health around? I think that people are going to be surprised with this answer because it actually probably wasn't food and it wasn't exactly supplements and it wasn't exercise. What turned my health around was mindset. So unfortunately, people think that, hey, if I drink a lot of green smoothies and I eat a bunch of kale and I drink a lot of water, I'll be healthy. But if your mindset's terrible, then none of that's gonna matter. I meditate 20 minutes a day, and then on the days that I don't meditate, then I'll do something called Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra is yogic meditation, which sounds kind of strange, but it's a guided meditation. And this is, to me, like my godsend.
I think that it's really unfortunate that we got to a place where the word natural or healthy eating, and I should hang up my bunny ears, but when we start talking about these terms and people go, oh, are you into all that natural stuff, that healthy stuff? It's like, when did it become so foreign? This is sort of like the basics, the traditions of how we are supposed to eat. So I think healthy living and healthy eating is something that really we all should learn how to do, even in school. And if people are going to scoff at it, I think it's going to get down to a point to one day when they're going to realize, like, oh, I wish I would have started sooner. So, you know, don't knock it till you try it.